This week's Parashat Hukat, I read one of the most powerful and really one of the most beautiful mashalim, one of the most beautiful analogies describing why we have this obligation to work so hard, to toil, to be amelim in the Torah. Why do we work so hard to try to figure out what is the truth, what is the emet in a particular halacha, in a particular sugya, a particular topic in Torah? What is that all about? Why is that so important? But before we get to the mashal, before we get to the analogy, I'd first like to welcome our new group of Israel XP at Bar Ilan University alumni. We have our graduates who just joined our holy network of neshamot, of alumni. So I want to welcome them all in right now. I would also like to welcome anyone listening in to this podcast in the podcast universe up on Spotify. This is the first time I'm posting a Devar Torah on Spotify. So Bezat Hashem, may this new medium help us spread the Torah even further into the world. Okay, so let's get to the mashal. Says the Abir Yaakov, says of Yaakov Abu Chatzera. This is the first of the Abu Chatzera dynasty. In his Sefer Betuchei Chotam on the Parasha, he says, this week's Parasha, we have the episode of Moshe Rabbeinu hitting the rock. He's makeh the sela, ala sela hach. He hits the sela. The whole episode leads to Moshe and Aharon being punished by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, being told that they're going to die in the desert, they're not going to enter into Eretz Yisrael, and it's given the title in the Torah and the Pesukim of Mei Meriva, the waters of fighting, the waters of strife. What started off as Jewish people complaining, where is our water? Miriam died, the Be'er Miriam has disappeared. For those that want a much deeper understanding of this and are willing to try to step into an advanced Dvar Torah, listen to the other Divrei Torah that I posted this year. But basically the end result of this Mei Meriva, the end result is Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron being punished. And fine. Says the Abir Yaakov, based on the Tikkunei HaZohar, that because Moshe Rabbeinu hit the rock, that led to us having to work harder to learn Torah. We now have to hit the rock, just like Moshe hit the rock. We have to go towards the Torah to try to unleash the water, drop by drop, to try to understand it. That led to us having to work very hard to learn Torah. And this also led to machlokot. This led to arguments amongst the different rabbis, or in times of the Mishnah, the Tanaim, the Amorim, and the Gemara, up until today's time. And says the Holy Zohar, the fact that a rabbi is called a Rav, a Rabbi, a Ramban, it's from the language of a Riv, of a fighting, the Mei Meriva. He says, why do the rabbis fight? Why are they fighting L'Shem Shamayim? All of that takes place because of Moshe Rabbeinu hitting the rock, and therefore we have to now fight and work harder to try to get to the truth. But that is the idea of a rabbi. The rabbi has to be a Rav. He has to fight. He has to fight to try to get to the truth. But says the Abir Yaakov, don't make the mistake and think that this is a pagam. This is not a blemish, chas v'shalom. The fact that we have to work so hard and fight it out, it's not a blemish. Rather, the fact that all the rabbis over all the generations, the fact that we, in our generation, are debating the halacha with this rabbi saying mutar, that rabbi saying asur, this rabbi says tameh, that rabbi says tahor, all of these arguments is good. It's not a pagam. He says these arguments is what the Zohar HaChadash says on Shir HaShirim. It refers to it as lekashet et hakala, to adorn the kala. Now here's the analogy of the Abir Yaakov. Here's the analogy of the Zohar Chadash, that when we're fighting over the Torah, what we're really doing is we're fighting symbolically over the jewelry that we want to place on the kala. We have the beautiful bride, we have the beautiful Torah, we want to adorn the Torah symbolically. Our machlokot is putting the jewelry on the bride. And says the Zohar Kadosh, says the Zohar Chadash, that this rabbi says the kala should wear diamond earrings in this particular case. And this rabbi says that in this case, she should be wearing pearls. This rabbi says she should put on a headscarf. That rabbi says she should put on a sheitel. But it's all coming out of kavod for the kala. The Torah knows this. In a certain sense, the Talmidei Chachamim, they're kind of like the Shushvinin. And before a wedding, the kala, the chatan, they each have their extra helpers that are preparing the chatan and kala for the wedding. So the Torah is the kala, and the Talmidei Chachamim, they're helping to prepare the Torah to be as beautiful as possible for the wedding with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is the concept of Talmidei Chachamim trying to unify the oral Torah with the Torah shebichtav, Torah shebapeh, Torah shebichtav. We want to try to bring it together, tie those crowns back onto the letters. But each person has his own way of thinking, his own dot, and the way he understands the oral Torah, he has a bigger picture of what the Torah is really all about. So therefore, for one rabbi, it's the short sheitel, no earrings, and the pearl necklace. That's what's beautiful. But for the other rabbi, you know what beautiful is? The bigger picture, it's the headscarf with the gold earrings and a diamond bracelet. Each one has an image of what the perfect Torah is. Based on all the sugyot they've learned, all the Torah they've learned, different jewelry will clash in different locations, different things when they come together. together, it doesn't all fit. That's why one rabbi in this case will say mutar, the other rabbi will say asur, and in a different case, it's going to be flipped, because in their overall bigger understanding of the Torah, the way they understand the oral Torah, this is the proper adornment, the proper clothing and decorations that's going to make for the most beautiful kala. So that's what the fight's really all about. And the kala, the bride, loves this. The kala loves to see her helpers trying to make her even more beautiful. And the Torah feels so loved, such kavod. When the rabbis are fighting it out, when we're fighting it out in our Batei Midrash, these machlokot are making the kala feel so, so beautiful. And that's the midrashic meaning, says the Abir Yaakov, on our pasuk that says, Hema mei meriva, these are the waters of fighting, the waters of strife, asher ravu bnei Israel et Hashem, that the Jewish people were fighting for Hashem. He learns it in the positive. They were doing it for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vaikadesh bam. And there was a kedusha, a sanctification. It all took place in these actions. So B'ezrat Hashem, may we be zocher to learn Torah, to toil in Torah. May our chidushim, our new ideas, may these be the crowns that we're placing on the Torah. May it beautify the Torah and be a real, true Kiddush Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.